Hey guys, welcome back to Gear Forward. My name is Paul, and today we're taking a look at the Wurkkos TS23 tactical flashlight. But first of all, thank you to Wurkkos for sending this over for review. They did provide this for review consideration. However, they did not provide any monetary compensation, nor did they have any input onto the review editorially or my opinion. Everything viewed here is my own experience with the light and my own opinion. That said, obviously I am a little detached from the price of the light, so I will try and keep that in mind. That said, let's go ahead and jump on into a size comparison. So up top we have a 91mm Susama knife, and down below we have a 58mm. Then moving into some flashlight comparisons, down below we have the Warrior 3S from Olight and Wurkkos' own TD04 up top. All 21700 lights. And speaking of batteries, we have the common AA and AAA along with our girth comparison. Now we do have a flared base, so we're going to check the girth on both ends. And finally up top we have an 18650, and down below we have the 21700 that the light comes included with. Narrow girth and fat end. And with that then, let's go ahead and take a look at the design overview of the flashlight. So we have a very good jimping in the middle here for texturing to give grip, and some thermal fins on the flared portion. Coming up front we have an orange peel reflector that is rather deep leading into the emitter, and some crenulations tipped with some stainless steel ball bearings, if not carbide. We have a deep carry style clip that is reversible. That would leave roughly this much sticking out. And we have a lanyard loop up top, which leads us to our button with some nice circling for texture, as well as a USB-C charging port protected by a rubber flap. And up front, this is our power indicator. Now this does unscrew from the front. As you can see, we have some nice deep threading, and we have so it's a little hard to show, we do have a dual spring design to make a more reliable connection. Is this the correct way to assemble this? Yes, you can tell by this little informational pictograph here. And that is our LED illuminated. Now let's go ahead and jump on into the brightness and runtimes of the Wurkkos TS23. Go ahead and pause if it's easy for you to read. Now this one is kind of being read backwards as we go from moon over here to turbo down to the left. So starting off with moonlight mode at 10 lumens, that will give us a runtime of 300 hours. An eco mode of 50 lumens for 45 hours, a low of 300 for 11.5, a medium of 800 for an impressive 6.5 hours, a high of 1800 lumens for 3.75 hours, and a turbo mode of 5000 lumens for 2.5 hours. There is no step down times indicated for those higher brightnesses, but we can assume they are there. And this is also an IP68 waterproof light as well. Now I'll also have the UI flowchart here for you to refer to, but we'll go through that on screen next. So first off, to access our moonlight mode, that is actually outside of the normal settings as moonlight modes tend to be. So from off, we're just going to press and hold. And then from here, you're just going to press and hold to cycle up. So eco, low, medium, high, then double clicking into turbo. Now 3 clicks will get you into strobe, so this is a strobe warning. And then you can triple click from there to get to SOS and beacon mode, with a single press to get back to the main UI. Now this does come with a digital lockout mode that is from off 4 clicks. signified by the flashing, and then if you try and turn it on, it won't do anything. To turn it off, again, just 4 clicks from off. However, if you 4-click whilst this light is turned on, you'll actually switch from one UI to another. So by default, this is going to come in outdoor mode, which is going to be a more general flashlight UI, more EDC friendly. And then we have a more tactical orientated mode called, you guessed it, tactical mode. So again, we're just going to go whilst the light is switched on, 4 clicks. And there you go, you get flashes before it goes into turbo. And this is now an entirely different UI. So when you turn it on with a single click, this will always now come into turbo. Great for illuminating a large area, dazzling animals or persons should you need to. If you press and hold from off, you still get moonlight mode. This is a very nice part. I still very much like being able to get access to this low mode if you're in turbo mode. If you're using this in a work function, this could be something similar to like checking somebody's ID or papers whilst you still have turbo mode whilst you need it. And then whilst you're on in the main turbo mode, you can press and hold to switch down to medium mode. And then double clicking instead of triple clicking will get you into strobe. So it's still out the way a little bit, but it is faster than normal. And again, lock is the same, 4 clicks, and to get back to the other UI, 4 clicks. And then we're back in the main outdoor mode. With that, let's go ahead and jump into the pros of the Wurkkos TS23. And first of all, I just have to say the build quality on this is excellent. The anodization is the kind of near shiny glossy kind, and it's very well machined, which gives a very premium feel to the light. The threading when you disassemble it is also very well done. And whilst we're talking about the build, the clip is very well done as well. Now, we could do with a little bit more ramp, to be honest, on the clip, but I still had no real issues getting it on, and I think it's partially because of where the clip is situated. You can kind of like hook the fabric into this gap where it starts to flare out and get it up. You can put this on a ball cap. I did try it. It is kind of heavy. A 21700 light is pushing it for putting on a ball cap, but you can definitely do it if you need your hands free in a pinch. USB-C charging is great. The switch is very nice. Now the click is satisfying. It's not really mushy to any dissatisfying degree, and the texture is both satisfying and a reliable grip to it. The branding is also fairly minimal. We have small branding here, the mandatory hot mark here. It's all very small, very tasteful, and even the power indicator you could miss if you didn't know it was there whilst turned off. It's all very well, just a well-designed light overall. And when we come over to the crenulations on front, I have seen other lights that theoretically could act as glass breakers. This is the first time that I have seen a light, or at the very least it's the first time that I've handled a light that is specifically designed to act as a glass breaker, and to that end we have these little balls here, which is the first time that I've handled a crenulated light that I've felt convinced you could probably reliably do damage to glass with. Concentrating all of the force to these 4 small points would do a very good job. And whilst I don't have access to a bunch of glass to test that I'm willing to break, I do think that is a very good design touch. Next up, the beam is very satisfying. This is a thrower. This is not a floodlight. You should bear that in mind. If you're looking for a general purpose EDC light, you're probably going to want a floody light unless you're looking specifically for work, search and rescue, or dog walking perhaps, similar kinds of things. That said, the beam does give you a good balance of spill and throw with a nice defined hotspot. And there is beam shots here. Anytime that this channel does a flashlight review, there will be a associated short with beam shots showing you. That said, as it does have a throwy beam, it's not going to illuminate by your feet that well, so just bear that in mind should you wish to use this as a walking light. Now onto the UI. The UI is very nice. I appreciate the sheer amount of modes it gives you options to. I mean, from moonlight to turbo, you're looking at 6 brightness levels. I think that's great. I also like that there's a distinct separation between everyday EDC and tactical. That is going to give you a lot more flexibility, and those that need that tactical mode are going to have a much better designed tool at their disposal. And whilst you're using this in hand, it does give you a good feeling of confidence that should you need to use it in some kind of tactical orientated situation, it's not going to fail you in any way. Personally, for my hands, I would appreciate if it was like a couple millimeters longer, but that's a ridiculous thing. Like that's just my hands in particular. This is a well-sized light, and I can definitely recommend it. Now on to what the Wurkkos TS23 could do a little better. You know, it's a tiny nitpick on this light in particular, but flaps on USB-C ports, I get it, I get why they're there, I don't like them. You can see that from showing the USB-C port earlier, this one isn't completely seated, and that's because getting flaps out and seated again can be a little fiddly, a little bit annoying, depending on how often you have to charge the light. It's just not as good as some other options in my opinion, but I understand if you want that standardized port on the flashlight body instead of the battery, that's just something that you have to deal with. Like I said earlier, I would prefer just a tiny bit of ramp to this clip. Again, that's a nitpick. This is a very solid light, and that is really what I have to say about this. These are nitpicks. I don't have any solid constructive criticism here because this is a very well done light. This is well designed, well constructed, and I think from a UI standpoint, it's a well balanced light as well, with the two options and the sheer range of modes available. This does come in at $48 if you get it from Amazon. I believe there's a standing coupon, and I will make sure that there's links down below should you wish to click them for a little bit of convenience. It will also help the channel out. So I can definitely recommend this if you're looking for a 21700 light that is single switch only. I will say if you do prefer having a double switch arrangement similar to the Olight Warrior 3S, then you're obviously going to have to look elsewhere. But for a single button flashlight, I think this does a fantastic job, and I've been having a lot of fun carrying this and using it, and I can greatly recommend it for those wishing for a bit of a thrower to just go on walks on the evening, or if you're looking for a more tactical option to carry in a professional capacity. I think this has a lot of potential there as well. But that's just what I think. Let me know what you think of the TS23 down in the comment section down below, and if there are any other Wurkkos lights you'd like me to check out. Whilst you're down there, I would greatly appreciate a like and subscribe to the channel. It does help the channel grow, and I do appreciate it. And if you'd like to support the channel more directly as I run out of breath at the end here, then please consider a Patreon membership, YouTube membership, or a coffee donation to help get more gear in front of the camera and help improve the overall production quality of the channel. But until next time, I've been Paul, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.